Hey, I'm back. I'm back. So let me get in here. I just want to talk about Married to Medicine. We had our final episode. Look, I'm trying to still do stuff. Try to get things going. Brandy and I will be doing our review tomorrow. I said, let me get in here and do my little review on what, I'm kind of going to, I don't know if it's going to be in chronological order or not, but we're going to hit and miss all the stuff. But the biggest thing is the Met Gala and the Steve versus Dr. Eugene. We're going to talk about that and get it on and popping here. So we are at the last episode, the season finale. And we kind of understand now why Dr. Contessa was in that sprinter. She's doing some kind of mobile medicine or something. So we see that. We see Dr. Heavenly hollering at Dr. Damon to wash his hands. She said she's trying to be like Toya. So he's like, you ain't got to tell me to wash my hands. Like he knows to do that. And we got, what else we got going on here? We got Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Mimi discussing the MED Gala. But first, we're going to start out with Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie having their regular luncheon. And they're discussing two things. Curtis and his hypocritical ways and Dr. excuse me, and the whole Toya and the MED Gala. So we're going to discuss all those things and get it on and popping. So we got we'll start out with Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie. And they're meeting up and they're talking about Simone had let Dr. Jackie knew that Cecil told her about what Curtis has said about, Quad and King may not be able to, have babies or not because they're not doing things in order. In the biblical order, they out of order. And so Dr. Jackie said she didn't know nothing about it until she overheard Steve and Curtis talking about it when they was going to the airport. And that she couldn't believe he said that. First of all, they are her patients. They are her friends. And then you said, she's like, no, I'm really going to say something to you because I don't think that is right, She said, I'll back you up when you're right, but right here you're wrong. Then, so she immediately calls Quad, and express her apology because she just cannot believe that Curtis would say such a thing. And I'm like, you know how I kind of feel about it. I said, he can't be so judgmental and he's out here sitting getting caught up. They said the girl was she 27 at the time? His little side piece. Because men like that, they have to leave with their wallets. Because honey, ain't nobody else checking for a knock-kneed 7-footer. No, they are not. Oh man, I didn't turn my phone off. Let me turn this thing off. I still got a landline, so. I'm sorry. Okay. Look, I got my thing on phone was ringing in here. Let's see here. Okay. Called myself turning my cell phone off, but didn't turn my house phone off. So anyways, when you have that going on, they had, she just wanted to express her apologies on behalf. Really, she didn't have to apologize for Curtis, but, Curtis made that. I'm not even going to say misspoke because he meant what he said, because even though when he does do an apology again, he kind of doubled down on it at the end, so we got that going on. So then we have, we got Dr. Contessa and her husband. They're talking. Like I said, we're not going to be in chronological order. So I'm just telling you how I remember it. But the main thing is when we talk about this MED Gala, because you got Dr. Contessa talking about it. You have Dr. Mimi and Dr. Heavenly talking about it. And you also have Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone talking about it. And the thing that is being said, number one, is that they're not getting, information from from Toya. Toya just wants the money, and she's going to treat those women like she treat Eugene. Give me the money, and I'll do what I see fit. I think that's what Toya, that's her mindset on all of that. So, the women are having issues with it. So, in all of the things, Dr. Jackie was like, we have to pray on this, honey. Let's pray that the Lord, basically that everything comes through. So Dr. Heavenly and Mimi is talking about it, and they are like, the whole what is he here? The leadership is what's got them all upset. The leadership is not right. And then Dr. Mimi, said, hey, have you guys did this, that, and the other? Have you had the meetings? Had you had the board members do this? And, a whole lot of stuff that Dr. Heaven said, nah, we ain't know nothing about that. And Toya is not doing this. And Toya ain't running the business, don't know how to run the business. And basically Toya is doing what Toya. So she got all these women not feeling like they're not being included, especially the ones who paid the $2,500. So then we go over and we see Dr. Contessa. She's trying on this dress, honey, that's showing off everything. I gotta put this thing on phones over here. So we got Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott, and they're with they're in the room. She's trying on the dress, and she's just expressing that the text that they have, the text thread is kind of like off the hook, and Toya is not really, she's not being compliant with any of the women, and they're out of the loop. They just found out where the venue was going to be in the last 48 hours because she's moved changed the venue. So, they were kind of upset about that. So she said, Toya just wants to put TBH on there, stamp it with her initial saying that she did it. So with all of that being said, as we get to the MED Gala and everything, Toya is very upset with the women. She says the women has not tried to help her. So everybody has their own way of seeing everything. So, but then, they show us all the text messages and the women were trying to help, but she was not giving them the response they want. And I think that's probably why they didn't raise as much money, because Toya did what she did. So Toya is talking to Eugene in his new office building for his whatever practice he's going to be doing that's not far away from home. And she's like, because she's kind of bossing him around a little bit. And then, they're moving things in. And he was like, you're being kind of bossy. She's like, I've been planning this MED Gala. And the MED Gala has stressed her the hell out. The one thing, I would say about the MED Gala, yes, they gave it to Toya to teach her a lesson. And lesson was learned. But so Toya got the women's money, and, Quad then wanted an accountability of what you're doing with our monies. Because if all the women are giving $2,500 a piece, you have Quad, Dr. Simone, Dr. Jackie, Dr. Heavenly, and Toya and Dr. Contessa, right? So, was that 6? So we got 5, about $15,000, right? So if we have $15,000, then they're not being included on where she's going to have the event at, the menu planning. Because I feel like this, Lord rest her soul. One year we had our family reunion, and this person she did our family reunion and prior, and she did a good thing. But the second time she did it, I felt like she should have had a committee, because sometimes when you're the one making all the decisions, things that they sound good to you may not be, you know, what everybody needed to have. Our family reunion is usually a 3-day event. We come in Thursday, so Thursday's meet and greet. Friday, the biggest thing is the picnic. The Saturday is the banquet, is how it usually, and it's a formal banquet. Well, at our formal banquet, we have a really nice dinner. You know, our theme of the that she had for the family reunion was like the Russell gang. So it was kind of like outlaws. So, okay, we had that, you know, we had these little cute little picture booths and all these little things we was doing. It was really cute. You know, I mean, she started out very great and you could see where the money went left. But she didn't have anybody else working with her saying, no, they don't, you know, we don't do things like this. And the thing she thought, we didn't get our picnic. We did get a baseball game. So I guess that was supposed to be the picnic, but usually we have a picnic with food. We didn't have that. And what else we didn't have? So our banquet, we didn't have a DJ like we normally do. We dress up for the banquet. And the food that we had looked like some big vittles. This looked like vittles. Beans, chicken. So it just looked like some shit you would cook over a fire. It did not look like how we would have our normal dinner. It did not. I said, well, what kind of shit was this? You know, but in her mind, because you know nobody else is talking to her, you know, because she's doing it by herself and wouldn't take any help. And this is kind of what happened. And I think this is what the issue is with Toya. Because, you know, because they kind of complain that they got chicken wings, you know. We got lemon pepper chicken wings there. That's what they serving. And the people got to pay $150 for their seat. No, you're supposed to have a nice, you know, 5-course meal or something. But anyways, as we get to that, so Eugene is moving into the office and Toya says, you know, she talks about the MED Gala and she ain't getting the help or the response is what she's showing. But as she's saying all these things, they're showing the text thread. Like, you know, they were asking to help. And so the MED Gala theme is the living art. So what we got going on in this MED Gala? The things I noticed, you know, of course, Eugene and Steve is going to have it out. But the one thing I noticed for real is when Quad arrives and then when King arrives. And we're going to talk about that because I feel like King is sassier than a motherfucker. Because when Quad arrived there and she came with her good Judy and she had said that, because, you know, Quad always arrived fashionably late. Steve had asked where was King. She said he was at one of their good friends' wedding reception. She said, but her first priority was the MED Gala. So when King arrives, Quad compliments him. I'm like, I don't know, maybe I don't compliment enough. But she complimented him. Now, whether he said anything back, but what we saw on film, he ain't say nothing back. He just kind of, you know. Now, if I'm telling you, you look good, goddamn, because you ain't the prize. I'm the prize. He ain't say she look good. He ain't say none of those things. Then I also noticed at this MED Gala, because, you know, at the end of everything, which I'm going to get back to the other people, but at the end of everything, she asked him to dance, and he didn't want to dance. First of all, if you had an attitude with me, don't come to the shit. Because if you're coming to it, I expect you to pull it together, and we're going to fake it in front of these motherfuckers. We're going to enjoy the whole night. You're not going to come here, act like you kind of got an attitude. Maybe he wanted her to stay at come to the reception with him. I don't know. But what I did notice is I didn't like the whole, like, his air when he came in. You know what? You got to hurry and get on here for the screen because, you know, he didn't have to come. Kid just said he's at his friend's wedding reception. And I came here and I brought my good Judy because she brought a good Judy. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. So that was my thing with King and Quad. But let's get back to the venue. The venue was beautiful, right? You know, it was, the artwork was really nice. Toya had some face paint done. I would have thought, but then again, it's tacky Toya. I just didn't think nothing was that creative and that great about her living art. I did not. It was, I mean, it's cute. I'd had my face, done by my makeup artist that does mine. And I thought Toya would have at least had on, like she had the flowers on. Let me pull up her picture. Seems like she would have came, this is the thing that she's doing. I would have had a little bit more than face paint. And I think I would have came in with some, a work of art or living art dress, So here, this is Toya. It's like, okay, you had some face paint done. I think Toya she should have really, just like how she did for her Bridgerton theme party, I think she could have did a little bit better than just the little face paint. I think I would have had on, honey, I'm over the top normally. So I would have been so over the top here. Everybody would have said, yeah, you are a working piece of art here. I'm living art. I'm walking around here because I know my shit together. I just feel like she should have had, another type of outfit, because when Brandy came, Brandy was a little upset that none of the women showed up like that. She was upset. She's like, I could have came in a regular dress. Dr. Simone came in a yellow dress. It looked like a living art, it looked like a Bridgerton theme or something. But she came, you could tell she put thought into her outfit. Now, Dr. Simone came, thank God she didn't wear the dress that she was planning on wearing. But she wore some kind of blue, I don't know, paper mache like dress, shiny metallic or whatever. But she had a picture frame, which is cute, because I'm going to say this, Dr. Contessa face is giving. So when she put the picture frame up, I thought, oh, that's cute. So here we go. There's her and the ladies in the picture frame. So I thought that was cute, So she said, we're all living art. But we'll get back on over here. So we already got the 48 hours before. So like I said, each one of the ladies had to give the $2,500. And so Dr. Heavenly and her husband, when they arrived, they just came as regular, if they was going somewhere, a little dressed up. Dr. Damon is very casual. He just put on a jacket or something. Then we have Dr. Eugene, like he was trying to do like the Fresh Prince did when he took the inside of a jacket. I don't know. It just looked, I guess it was art. I don't know. Or like a paint smock or something. But also we had, like I said, we had Dr. Simone there. And Dr. Simone's son had mentioned to Dr. Simone that he didn't speak to somebody. Read my mind. He had his little girlfriend with him. So I guess he didn't speak to Dr. Heavenly. I'm like, I don't know. I had mentioned before once, I don't think that, like, if we beefing, I don't think that the kids need to be in the beef, because we might be back friends. So I don't want you to have, your kids to feel weird or anything about anything. So just let the beef be between us, you don't have to, try to, just say hi and keep it moving. You ain't got to hold a conversation, So what else? So when Angel arrives there, Dr. Heavenly said, now that's a work of art. That's a living art right there. Angel, she is built. I mean, I don't know if she had anything done or not, But Angel looks very nice. She's built up nicely. So I don't know, if she had work done, they did a good damn job. But other than that, it looks natural to me. So, but when Dr. Simone's son says he did not speak to who, we found out on Watch What Happens Live that definitely he was talking about Dr. Heavenly. And he's like, she said, I said hi to her, but I'm not really fucking with her either tonight. So, so when we have Steve and Dr. Mimi come, now there's a door person there because I guess I didn't see them there before, but they came there. They was there when Steve and Dr. Mimi showed up and to ask them about, whatever QR code or whatever they would have to get in. They said, no, we're guests of Dr. Jackie. But they didn't go and get Dr. Jackie. They went over there and got Toya. And so Toya and Eugene came over, and they kind of had words back and forth. Steve said, we paid $5,000 in donation last year. And Dr. Mimi said, last year we didn't have to pay for no ticket to get in. So they are both saying that they didn't know they had to pay for a ticket. Well, so it was kind of like a back and forth, and Steve felt like he was singled out, and he was basically saying, what would y'all rather have? A person paid $300 to get in, or a person, that could donate $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000? Which would you rather have? And Toya was basically saying, y'all wouldn't be in this shit anyways if y'all gave money, because while Eugene and Steve was having their back and forth, Toya came over there and intervened. And Steve was like, he don't talk, he ain't about to be, going back and forth with her. He don't go back and forth with no woman. That's why he's talking with Eugene. And Eugene was letting him know that yesterday price ain't the same prices, honey. Anybody that come through the door needs to pay the $150 per seat. So I guess Dr. Mimi was saying earlier that the other women weren't paying. I feel like that the newbies were all saying they weren't going to pay. But nurse practitioner Brandy, when she got there, she paid. So I feel like Dr. Mimi didn't have, she was kind of shocked that she didn't know that they were going to pay. So she paid. So then Dr. Mimi went ahead. It looks like she either Zelle, Venmo, or Cash Apped them the money because she had her phone out and saying, so she went ahead because Steve was just saying that, they are already, I guess, paid for a table or something. I don't know. But I guess Eugene was like, before you can get through the door, just like because when you played football, when people came to see the game, they had to pay to get the ticket. So you're going to pay. And basically the tickets, tickets to come in, that was what they raised for the two young ladies, where they were able to they raised $10,000. So they gave them $5,000 a piece. And this is where I have an issue at. They had the two ladies that came up there and they spoke. But I'm like, last year they raised $100,000. Of course, Phaedra put that number up there because I think Dr. Jackie was thinking about 30,000. So, but Phaedra was like, nah, I could do this, by myself. So that's why Phaedra got stuck with having to write that check for $30,000. But for all the things that Toya did, the things, it looked nice. It was real to me. I like the paintings and everything, but it just wasn't really decorated that great. It was just a white event. But, evidently it probably looked a lot better than what we could see. But she didn't raise that much money. She did not. I mean, they only got $10,000 and they had to split it. it would have been nice if they could have raised $100,000, so Toya, one thing, she has set the charity up. So she did not want to include the newbies as the founders. She only included, because she didn't want to include nobody but her and Jackie. But Jackie said that wasn't going to go, because then the women wouldn't have probably donated anything. So she included, Dr. Contessa, Dr. Heavenly, Dr. Simone, Quad, along with that. But $10,000? I think if she would have actually let the women help, they could have did a lot better. It sounds like she took the money and tried to, to do the best that she could. But I really feel she could have, if she would have really shared like what she was doing, I think, and communicated with the ladies, I think it could have been a lot better. But I think Toya was on this, this is my thing. I'm doing this. So this is the Toya show here. So, we have Eugene up here acting, the way he's acting, because I didn't like that he was getting so involved in the women's business. So Steve is on one with him, like, okay, because I don't like the way your wife talked to my wife. And my wife ain't did shit to her. So let's go here. So the conversation between the men, Toya had butted in. And it just was like, you can see Steve was frustrated. And like I said, they did get the money to them. So Dr. Simone comes over to Toya and basically, tell her to let the walls down, basically enjoy your night. And don't ask no one else that's a part of this group for any ticket money. don't ask, you've done a great job. Don't ask nobody else for any money. Let the walls down and enjoy your night, basically. So when they go up there to give have the big checks for the women who received the scholarships, and the women, they spoke, these women, they are in some kind of, school for something in the medical field. I guess maybe going to be a doctor, nurse practitioners or something. But I'm like, $5,000? I'm not saying it ain't that much money. But, every little thing counts. But you would think that, I think if I would have been a part of the housewife franchise, I would have been reaching out to the other housewives. Hey, we're having the MED Gala. You want to donate? Because Toya even said she started to invite Phaedra. Why didn't you? Y'all all in Atlanta. I'd have invited all the Real Housewives. Everybody on damn Bravo would have got a damn invite. Yes, it would have. I seen Gary with the tea there. He was standing by Curtis over there talking. So, but yeah, I would have invited everybody, because I would have wanted to give out more than just $5,000, especially for the kind of money everybody making. And remember, Steve last year, he paid $5,000 himself just for that bowl, ashtray, or whatever the hell they used to do the lemon squeeze with. So as the women are talking and Toya has the mic and she talks about what all they were able to do, then after she's done talking, Dr. Heavenly goes, "Can I have the mic?" Everyone is looking like, what the fuck is she going to say? Now here is, you can see the face that Dr. Eugene is making. He's ready. He is already on one. He ready. He ain't got to get ready. He ready. And Dr. Heavenly said, basically, Toya could not have picked a better women to choose to give the scholarship to. And also that she gave Toya her flowers and basically said, you did a very good job. Even though we gave you hell, you did a very good job. And she was really pleased with everything and gave Toya her props. And Toya said in her confessional, Dr. Heavenly ain't saying nothing new. She knows she did a good damn job. I'm like, okay, you did a good damn job. And y'all only raised $10,000. So I don't know what the artwork went for, or if, because, even though Dr. Heavenly has said when she got there how nice, she figured it was going to look nice, but she wants to know, the books behind everything. How much money did she raise? What was the money spent on? All the accounting after the fact, So, because, they was cracking on about them chicken wings. So after that, we have, where Dr. Heavenly goes over to, because everybody's dancing now, and she goes over to Dr. Simone, and basically she's saying, Dr. Simone holds on to, she's saying this in her confessional, Dr. Simone holds on to grudges forever. She said, but she don't. So she goes over to ask Simone, did she mind if she danced with Cecil? And she said, you can dance with my man if you want to. And then, they switched and danced. So, Dr. Simone was cordial, but, basically Dr. Simone is like, it's up and it's stuck with Dr. Heavenly, because she mad forever. So, and basically, I think, is that it? That was pretty much it. Me and Brady will get more in depth with it tomorrow, but that was just my, my whole little synopsis. Okay, you raised $10,000. How well did that really do? Are we, because each year you have this MED Gala, you want to do better. So last year, I know it was $100,000. I know we in a different economy, but I just would have thought you would have raised more than 10. So if they would have been able to have all of the ladies help, but Toya was not having it, maybe because they was giving her such hell. She was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it by myself. And I including you bitches on nothing. So Eugene gives Toya her flowers at the end. Also, I forgot to even mention, we have Steve. I had mentioned it earlier that in one of the reviews that I had thought Steve and Dr. Mimi had moved into a new house, and they did. They built a new house, and they moved in. I think they moved in right before Christmas, I believe. But as she was in the house, she was cooking, and she was talking about the new kitchen they was going to have and how big their house is going to be. I think about 6,000 square feet or somewhere in there. They also were talking about the special need child and how we like to have him in some kind of sport. He's already taken speech therapy, so he seems to be getting along better because he's able to communicate a little bit better. And he was eating spaghetti. That's something she made. One thing I had noticed, whenever Steve and Dr. Mimi are in the confessionals or whatever, he really be affirming her. He be affirming the shit out of her. Because I be like, they just so performative. Now, I've been married for 30 years. My husband, he get to saying shit like, like that. And I'd be like, okay, that's not how we be acting at home. So you ain't got to do all that shit in front of everybody else. But I feel like it's so performative, but maybe she needs to be affirmed like that, with having this special needs child that we know is probably was not on her bingo card to have a child like that. So, he affirms her and tell her she's more than enough and all these lovely things. I'd be like, really, see? I mean, it's cute, but I just feel like they be really performing for the cameras. So let me know what you guys think of the season finale. I was a little shocked, but then I had to go back and look and see like how many episodes they used to do. They usually do about 14, 15 episodes. But what is shocking is this reunion is only going to be 2 parts. They said they're going to put it all together so that way they can have, Real Housewives of Atlanta will be back on the 5th. Now I'm like, why does that matter? Because, Married to Medicine come on at 9. But no, what they're doing is the Real Housewives Rhode Island is going to be following Roa. I thought they were already on, if I'm not mistaken. Aren't they on another night? So you didn't switch them to Sunday night? Because I thought that that Roa would be going as, would be coming on and still Dr. Heavenly. Married to Medicine would still be, ending. But no. Anybody watching Real Housewives of Rhode Island? How is that? I have not watched it, so maybe they're trying to build that platform up. But I feel like you're taking away from Married to Medicine because they're only going to have a reunion with 2 parts. I don't know. Because Potomac could have really did only 2 parts. So it's bad enough they made Married to Medicine wear red like Potomac did. Now they're really being treated like the redheaded stepchild. So they only get 2 parts for the reunion. And to me, I feel like Married to Medicine is a better show than Potomac. And I think the ratings say that too. So that's some of the news. But we want to get into this reunion a little bit and what kind of happened. I'm going to let us hear it. I'm not going to really just play it. So I'm going to put this, because I don't want Bravo up here messing with me. So I'm going to share a screen. But Steve and Dr. Eugene, they have more words. And I'm like, damn. Yeah, they got more words going on here. So I'll just put that over it. Okay. So let's play it. And you guys tell me what you think.
He needed a ticket.
Never said.
I will say this. I'm not saying what's right or wrong, but I will say this. We have to do a better job communicating what's going on. He didn't know.
There wasn't a lot of inclusion. Are y'all gonna buy a ticket?
About that what?
Where with Jackie? Where with Jackie's table?
If you're trying to include people and they're just pushing back, then you move on and you make a good event, right?
I disagree. You tried to exclude us
You're right about
when
the
it comes
whole
to tickets, but it was never said that we needed to buy a ticket. Okay. It was never said that we needed to buy a ticket.
If you didn't like the way it was run and you were so out in Jamaica, why the hell were you even there?
Because it's the MED Gala. Because it's a big
why were you there? Why were you there? You were out. I was surprised to see.
I was never there to support you. I was there to support the cause, Eugene.
Okay. Didn't support the cause.
It was about the cause.
Buy a ticket when you come in.
I did buy a ticket.
Then why are we having this argument? Steve, I can't imagine that you're justifying bad behavior. When you come into an event,
justify bad behavior every single day with Toya. You justify bad behavior every single day. What are you talking about? So when
and then you mentioned my wife.
You want to cuss? So if you're going to keep that energy,
don't boss up on me, Steve.
No, I'm telling you, you just, listen, I was good.
You can stop pointing at me.
I was good.
You can stop pointing.
I was good. Until you just said something about, do you want to be one of the women?
Do you?
Do you want to be one of the women? Because you're acting like one. Hey, look, I got chased by 250-pound linebackers. So I can handle this.
I hear that.
The LV got me blinded.
Oh, man. What's this, chinchilla?
I knew he was going to have the LV on.
All right, fellas.
Yeah, you're not a little antsy right there, are you?
Who, me?
Yeah, you're a little antsy.
You know,
I don't want to see you guys argue. And I understand the anger.
obviously there's some level of accountability we all need to take, but
if Steve got to the event and didn't know he needed a ticket,
never said.
I will say this. I'm not saying what's right or wrong, but I will say this. We have to do a better job communicating what's going on. He didn't know.
There wasn't a lot of inclusion. Are y'all gonna buy a ticket?
About that what?
So Steve and Dr. Mimi says they did not know that they needed to buy a ticket. And I kind of, they said they didn't know, so whatever. And then the plan was probably to maybe purchase some art or whatever. But I don't know. What y'all think about this? Because I feel like it's a lot. And this whole season to me, Dr. Eugene has been all in the women's business. Now Steve is clapping back. And seems like this is why Dr. Damon don't get in the shit. Because look, the men get to arguing and get animated, and it probably will lead to a physical altercation. So I don't know. But we only get 2 episodes of the reunion. So what is going to happen? Dr. Eugene ain't playing about it. Don't be mentioning my goddamn wife. And told him, quit pointing at me. Let's go back. He said, quit pointing at me. So let's hear it again.
What are Jackie's table?
If you're trying to include people and they're just pushing back, then you move on and you make a good event, right?
I disagree. You tried to exclude us
You're right about
when
the
it
whole
comes
thing.
to tickets, but it was never said that we needed to buy a ticket. It was never said that we needed to buy a ticket.
If you didn't like the way it was run and you were so out in Jamaica, why the hell were you even there?
Because it's the MED Gala. Because it's a big
why were you
cause.
there? Why were you
Because I was
there?
there
You
to
were
support the
out.
cause.
I was surprised to see.
I was never there to support you. I was there to support the cause, Eugene.
Okay. Didn't support the cause.
It was about the
and buy a
cause.
ticket when you
I
come in.
did. I did buy
All
a
right,
ticket.
then why are we
That's
having
fine.
this argument? Steve, I can't imagine that you're justifying bad behavior. When
No,
you come into an
you
event,
justify bad behavior every single day with Toya. You justify bad behavior every single day. What are you talking about? So
Why?
when
And
did I
then you
stutter?
mentioned my
You
wife.
want to cuss? So if you're going to keep that energy,
don't
keep
boss
it.
up on me, Steve.
No, I'm
Don't
telling
do that.
you just listen. I was
You
good.
can stop pointing at
I
me,
was
too.
good.
You can stop
I was
pointing.
good.
You can
And
stop
then you
pointing.
just said something about, do you want to be one of the women?
Do you?
Do you want to be one of the women? Because
you?
you're acting like one.
He said, do you want to be one of the women? Because you acting like one. So this, it's turning into a mess. I think that 2 things can be true. Yes, I believe Dr. Mimi and Steve should have paid to come in. I do. For the cause if they didn't want to donate. But I guess, because they're not paying the $2,500. So I think if you were coming to the event, you should have paid the $150 per person. Definitely. And then if you decided not to, because on Watch What's Happened Live, Toya said they ain't buying no artwork anyways. So, and he said that on the trip that he wasn't going to be spending no $5,000 on no, like he did before on the glass bowl or whatever. Because, Toya was like, why are we even arguing about anything? Because if the Louis Vuitton outfits that he's wearing is authentic, he's paying a lot of damn money for them outfits. And he wants to argue about $300. What we doing here? What are we doing? So tomorrow, Brandy and I will be doing our full review of this MED Gala season finale, Married to Medicine, how we felt the season was. So we'll be back tomorrow about 9:15. You can also please meet us then and like, share, and comment. Come in, talk to us, let us know. And Brandy has on I am Brandy Janae. If you go over to her page, please go over there and subscribe to her page also. And she does have a poll going on for the awards she wants to do for Married to Medicine and the reunion and the looks and all that kind of stuff. So we have that going on. So the reunion airs this coming weekend. And I'm curious to why Steve and Dr. Eugene, or how it, ends, basically. Because Steve wasn't having it, and he was already sitting on ready. And so I think it was probably more said at that MED Gala for him to come in with that much energy. Had to be. So him with Dr. Eugene said, "Why was you there?" I didn't think he was coming. So who knows? But that's it. That's all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. We still have our love and marriage. I'm about to choke on this damn raisin. No, what is this? Cranberries. We still have our love and marriage, Huntsville. We'll probably premiere that tomorrow morning. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Look, I'm about to choke. I'll see y'all tomorrow along with Brandy Janae, and we can talk about everything in between. So I said, let me do my little review real quickly, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a great evening. Good night.